We're coming in hot with inspiring guests, witty banter, and colorful commentary for today's veterans and military community. This is the Tango Alpha Lima podcast.
They call me crazy cause I'm facing all my giants. They try to scare me into thinking I can fight it. They tell me I should never even think of trying. But that's just me, I'm gonna live out in defiance.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ashley, Alphas, all the people whose names start with A. We are getting close. It's just a few weeks now, and we're going to be in the Queen City, as I've recently learned, Charlotte is called, for the convention, the American Legion National Convention. We're going to have so much fun. Ashley, are you excited about anything in Charlotte?
I just came from Charlotte, and I'm excited.
What?
Yep, was just there. Good airport. Good airport. They don't know how to number their gates, but I'll work on it.
All right. So Charlotte, yeah, be careful in the airport. Don't go to the wrong gate. I guess getting there, you'll just get off the plane and go to, but when you're on your outgoing, check that gate markings. All right. I can't wait for a convention. There's going to be, we're going to release this information in bits. So today I'm just going to let you know there's going to be a job fair there. So you can get employment. There's going to be a blood drive. You can give life. And while you're there, you can visit people that you know and love. The whole TAL, Tango Alpha Lima team is going to be there. 2 Ashleys and Amy, we call it the AAA team. They're all going to be there. And I'm going to be there as the male of the group. And we're going to talk about all of the upcoming, what are we calling them? They're special podcasts that they're just going to be better than us, apparently. So you're going to meet all of the people behind those, and you're going to get an introduction to what those podcasts are going to be all about. I'm not going to spill the beans here today because I am not a spoiler, and Holly will murder me in my sleep. She's going to be there as well. And it's going to be great. So go to legion.org/convention and you can find out all of the information. And we totally 100% want to see you there. I'm going to do this a couple of times before we get there. Every year, I act like I'm going to write an article, and I tell the media and communications people I'm going to write an article about this crazy app that I love, because I hate getting stacks and stacks of business cards that have no context. I take them home. I don't know. I see a name, but I don't know who they are. I've been using this Hi Hello app, and I've got people in California using it. It's one of those digital business card things, but it's totally free, and you can have 4 different profiles. So I'm going to make one for my Tango Alpha Lima present, so you don't get my home address. So don't think you're going to get that. But so we can connect there, and it's way better than getting a business card. And if you do that, I'm going to try to find some of Holly's super swag to make sure you get a little extra. Oh, she's showing us. You can't see it, but it's pretty fly. Although and we cannot wait. We cannot wait for you to see a sticker. This is designed by Holly. Ashley and I have some input, indirect. You'll see what that means when you get to Charlotte. Okay. I've done a convention commercial. Get the Hi Hello app. Let's make our networking more effective, and so you can see people.
Totally sounds like an ad. Let's make our networking more effective. Sponsored by American.
I am an ad. I'm an advertisement. And you know what? You know who needs an advertisement, and I'm British now, is our shopping experience on bases. And you and I both are going to be familiar with the story that you're about to say, and grateful, I think.
Yeah, pretty grateful. I want to tell you about more savings and full shelves, which are the focus of the new commissary chief. This is from militarytimes.com. Maintaining or even increasing customer savings at the commissary is his top priority, said John E. Hall, who took the helm of the Defense Commissary Agency June 4th, building on his predecessor's accomplishments over the past several years. He's also focusing on getting more products to fully stock the shelves more quickly and on making stores even more convenient. They're working on other areas too, such as improving the quality of produce, Hall said during a recent interview with Military Times. Commissaries got a big boost from Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin last September, as Austin's Taking Care of Our People initiative pumped more money into commissaries in order to cut the prices at the register. By removing the 2017 Defense Department requirement that commissaries had to make a profit to offset operational costs, Austin enabled commissary officials to drop prices by 3% to 5% across more than 40,000 products in their stores. They're saving customers an average of at least 25% on every grocery basket that leaves the store, Hall said. Overall, transactions and foot traffic in the stores have increased by about 8% since those prices were lowered, compared to the same period in fiscal 2022, Hall said. Dollar sales have increased by 11%, although inflation plays a part in that increase, as rising prices of groceries have affected all consumers. But clearly, the lower prices have driven increased sales and increased transactions.
Have you felt the lower pricing?
No. And there's been a lot of times where like I'll post like especially like last year when I was posting those $9 cauliflowers. Here's the thing. I love the commissary and
$9 cauliflower.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. The the sergeant major that's in charge of it, he's awesome. They're all working hard. But you see all these like crazy statistics in this article, like it's just statistic. None of it is people. None of it is what is happening. So it's not going to resonate with anybody who is like, oh, you know what? Let's go to the commissary today because they drop prices from 3% to 5%. Let's go, honey. It's going to be like, what's happening? Everybody's trying. I think that there's issues with distributors. There's issues with that I've sort of taken on before and tried to work with. I want the commissary to be really in places where people need it. Like where I'm at now in Texas, there's a major grocery store outside the gate. It's not far. So which means that the commissary isn't going to be that great because people aren't shopping there that much because they have other options. Okay. But in places like New Jersey, where I was, where the closest grocery store was far, because I was in like farmland, New Jersey. So if you're going to get to a decent grocery store, it takes you 45 minutes. And some of these people can't afford to put gas in their cars. The commissary's got to be good because they've been told to take their family to that base. So take care of them.
I get it. But I think the commissary, even if there is a grocery store this close, the commissary can still compete for that. I think, and some of what you're saying is the article is a lot longer than this. I didn't do a chat GPT summary, so we didn't get to all of the information. But they are talking about some of the supply chain issues that are mucking things up. The fact they're working on improving their produce section, and they're even talking about home delivery and expanding their hours. So there is a lot of that customer service stuff. It's my bad. And that's why I'm not hanging flyers advertising for them. I took the beginning where all the statistics were in.
Oh, no, I'm not blaming you.
No, I'm blaming me.
It's funny.
I'm blaming. I like hearing you read those. I like hearing you read numbers.
Oh, thank you. I'll do it more often. When I talk about the commissary in like a video or something online, the people that are in and using the commissary now, the vast majority of them will be like, oh my God, like I had this happen. Like I want like and usually the issue is the food is still in date and it's gone bad. Like what is happening? And to me, that's not a commissary issue. That is a distributor issue. Like these are the people that are supplying the foods. And there's issues there that I've uncovered as well, in case you want to go check out Cheesegate on my Instagram. Which is something I would still like to work with that company on to try to highlight issues. But if I talk about the commissary, after like a couple days, after it gets out of the typical like currently serving audience, I'll get people that are like, the commissary is the best thing I've ever had. And they're like, and when I went to it in the 70s, and you're like, okay, or they'll say something like when they had the arrows on the floor, and you're like, oh, you haven't been there in a long time. I love the
They had
commissary.
those during COVID.
Yeah, but they brought it back. You like I pretty much exclusively shop at the commissary. Love the commissary. Love the people that work there. I think that the companies that work with the commissary need to do a better job. Not the.
Well, you can't blame it all on suppliers, because if it could be a storage temperature where they're storing it, the temperature might be off. Where they're displaying it, the temperature might be off. There's a lot of points of failure that can happen.
How it happens. So a lot of the food that it comes from a central place and then goes around the world. So you're getting things that could work better. Like, oh, let's have like some local stuff. That's why it's basically all the same everywhere, because it all has to come from that one place.
Yeah, but you're still dealing with the government. So Joe's apple farm is going to have to become a government supplier and go through all of that. And they're going to be like, no, they don't want to do that. So I blame Joe now. I blame Joe, the apple farmer.
But Joe's
so all his fault. And I also want to point out, because in the article they were saying, it was weird. They were saying that younger single enlisted people don't think they're supposed to be shopping in the commissary, which is very weird. And in fact, they think it's like for families, and like they weren't going and haven't been going to the commissary. In fact, I don't see a lot of, and I try to recognize Air Force rank, but it's weird to me. I see people with lots of stuff, lots of stripes and chevrons, and officers in the commissary when I go to LA Air Force Base. But I think LA Air Force Base only has officers. Not only is it for enlisted people, but here's a quote from the gentleman that you quoted earlier. People don't understand it's a congressionally mandated benefit, part of the total compensation package for our active duty retirees and service-connected disabled veterans, Saucedo said. In January 2020, the commissary benefit was extended to veterans with any level of service-connected disability down to and including 0. If you have a 0% compensable service-connected disability, you can shop at the commissary. So go do it.
I think the younger people, a lot of them are just going to the dining hall. So, they're like, well, I'm just going to go there and get my meals. Like, where am I going to store food anyway? But I can tell you that I do see younger people, because their carts are hilarious. It's like, I'm looking at their cart and it's just filled with like Gatorade and Lunchables. And I'm just like, oh, you sweet thing.
Why? That's funny to you?
I know, that's just, you could link up with them. You're basically still you're enlisted Marine. You eat like one.
And they're obviously under 21, because it should be Gatorade, vodka, and Lunchables.
You can't buy vodka at the commissary, but if they could, I'm sure they would.
Oh no, it's at the exchange. Here anyway, you can buy the exchange here, but I don't find those prices to be as cheap. All right, we are. You know what? You know who is not going to eat Lunchables? Our guest today. You should probably ask him about his cheat day, is what you probably should do.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
You'll do that? Awesome. All right, today we're going to be joined by Matt Cable, an Air Force veteran who has overcome leukemia and endless adversity to excel as an elite athlete. Say that 3 times fast. Go.
Elite athlete. Say that 3 times fast. Elite athlete.
elite athlete, who has participated in the Titan Games, the Invictus Games, and the Warrior Games. We're going to be right back with super medalist of all the games, Matt Cable, right after the break.
Hello friends, I'm Mayor Vi Lyles, and we are excited to welcome you to Charlotte. The Queen City offers endless opportunities to craft personalized experiences that stretch well beyond our hotels and meeting spaces, beyond our newly expanded convention center located in the bustling heart of Uptown. You won't want to miss one-of-a-kind attractions like the U.S. National Whitewater Center, top-notch sporting venues, and hundreds of restaurants. For those of you looking to get out and explore, you can easily navigate the city aboard our light rail system. for lots of retail dining and nightlife. And hopheads rejoice. Charlotte has undoubtedly become a southeastern paradise for beer lovers with so many craft breweries in our vibrant neighborhoods. No matter which direction you choose, Charlotte's ready to welcome you. And once here, we hope you'll feel instantly at home. Delivering memorable experiences is Charlotte's DNA. And on behalf of our big-hearted hospitality community, we look forward to seeing you soon. Safe travels.
Welcome back, Alphas. I hope you had a nice break. And now we're going to pull you back in with Matt Cable. Pull you back in. All right. Thanks, Matt, for being here. I see that you're in a vehicle, which is not a typical Air Force chair, but I hope that you are comfortable and ready to tackle.
I'm comfortable and ready. I'm ready.
Ready to tackle the Tango Alpha Lima experience. All right. You have a friendly face over there with Ashley Gudemuth, who is in the Air Force family. So I guess I'll just be kinder today and gentler and order food
Thanks.
delivered.
Yeah, we need it.
I'm going to order food delivered today instead of cooking it myself. Because of you two.
Jeff's a Marine, so all you have to do to talk to him is just go rah 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 rah.
He'll understand right away.
How dare you say what you just said?
I'm sorry. Hey, look, take it. You can take it.
Rah, rah, rah.
Matt, it's great to have you here. I've read your story, and holy heck, what a life of overcoming adversity, resiliency. So many of us can learn how to overcome things and not give up from you. And I think the best way to hear about it is from you. So can you give us a little bit of your background?
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you again for having me on. It's an honor, and I'm excited to share my story. So I will begin with I joined the Air Force in the end of 2011. Went through BMT Tech School through 2012 at my duty station in Great Falls, Montana. Worked through 2013 into 2014. I was actually working active duty orders out at Mount Strum Air Force Base in Great Falls, Montana. And while I was out there, I was diagnosed with AML leukemia, and that is cancer of my bone marrow. I was pretty young. I was 23 years old. So when I was diagnosed, I didn't really know what to expect. I actually didn't even know what like leukemia was. I had to research it myself and see what the heck's going on and what's next for me. And first thing you look up at on the internet, you're like leukemia diagnosis and the survival rate and everything like that. And so survival rate isn't too high, so I'm like, well, this is gonna be fun. But I told myself, I'm never gonna give up. I'm gonna continue fighting each day, and that's what I did. When I was diagnosed in 2014, I was working security forces. I was working 12, 13-hour shifts, and so between working my 13-hour shifts and training, I couldn't tell what was going on with my body. I just knew I was really sore. So I was doing what I could each day. I was still training, doing what I can and working. And when you work with our vest that we have on each day, and our carrying M4s and etc. And training, like your body's sore all the time, right? Kind of get used to it. So that's what I kind of thought it was. I didn't get seen for probably a month or 2 months with having neck soreness and just pain through my body. But when I got to the point where I was like sick every day and nothing could help it, I remember I went to the hospital, I think 3 times in 1 month before they actually diagnosed me with leukemia, before they actually drew blood, found it. My white blood cell was about 6 times normal. And I got admitted to the hospital that night. And, that next morning, the doctor was like, so what's your plans for the next 6 months? And I'm like, well, doc, supposed to deploy here next month. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, roger that. So we talked about what the next game plan was and treatments, and it was a pretty rough road. I remember I first thing I had done was I got a Hickman port put in my chest, and that was for all my IV antibiotics, my chemotherapy, and everything. About a week into my chemotherapy, I got extremely ill. We don't know how exactly I got it, but I got a pretty serious infection. And when I had no white blood cells to fight off the infection, it immediately put me into complete organ failure. And I was on life support for about life support and coma for 18 days. In that 18 days, I had lost all my weight. So I was going from about 230 down to about 160.
Wow.
But I woke up. I wasn't supposed to, and I did. It was pretty crazy. I had, my mom, I woke up and I kind of didn't believe what was going on, because when you're down and out like that and you wake up, you kind of don't know what just happened, right? You're like, what? Why am I here? Like, what's going on? And then like you look at photos of yourself and you're like, wow, I look deathly ill. I look like a skeleton. I'm like, so many thoughts went through my head. And my mom showed me, a photo of me, and I just kind of broke down. I couldn't believe what just, past, like few weeks that they endured and had to go through, watching me and everything that went on with me. But I woke up, and remember the first thing I wanted to do was go to the gym once I got released from the hospital. So that's what I did. I was I think I remained in the hospital another like 2 weeks before my white blood cell count was actually up enough for me to kind of be safe to go back out into the real world. So, but once I was released from the hospital, I remember that night I went to the gym. It's the only thing I wanted to do is get my body back, get my strength back and everything from what I was lost. But when I went to the gym, I had PICC lines in my arms and whatnot. Still, they were covered, but they were still there, and I had to be careful with sweating and whatnot. But I sat down on that bench to see where I was at with the bench press, and I remember I picked up the 45-pound bar, the barbell, and it buried me in the bench for I think I did 1 rep. I was like, well, that was interesting. So I remember I got up and I looked at my reflection in the mirror, and I just, I saw a skeleton, right? But I said, hey, one day at a time, it will all come back. Just take it one day at a time and just keep working. And don't let, everything that's about to go on mess with my mind and my brain, whatnot. I had to stay strong, not only for me, but for my family, friends and family. And so the next 4 or 5 months, I just continued training and going through chemotherapy as well. I had like 4 more rounds of chemotherapy to go through, and going through chemo, I was still training, doing what I could. Probably wasn't very smart, but I did. That's the only thing I wanted to do is just train. It's the only thing that made me happy and gave me release, from everything that was going on. So that's what I did. I did it about 4, maybe 5 months. I was getting back my strength and my size. I think I went from 260 back up to like 205 in about 4.5 months. So I was feeling good, feeling strong again. And remember, it was February of 2015 when the doctor said that I was in remission, and it was pretty crazy feeling you get when you say you're in remission. But we still have daily not daily, but we still have routine every like 2-week checkups, or every like week checkups. So now me knowing that I'm in remission, I tried training harder and harder. I transitioned from normal weightlifting and strongman and stuff that I used to do and powerlifting to now I transitioned over to CrossFit. I wanted to make sure I was in better shape, make sure my lungs were in better shape, and my muscles were just I was able to do more things and be more aerobic. So that was my goal. I should transition over to CrossFit, and once I started training CrossFit from 2015 to about 2017, in that time frame, I got in really, really good shape, and I kind of never looked back, honestly. 2017, I got a call from NBC saying that they wanted me on their television show, The Tango Games, and I remember I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe that they were calling me. I picked up the phone from this LA number. I was like, hello? And they're like, hey, this is so-and-so from NBC, and just wanted you to know that we love your story and we'd love for you to be on Tango Games. I was like, wow. Yeah, this is, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's television show, blah, blah, like, we've all seen your story, we love it, and we think it'd be incredibly inspirational. I'm like, dang, okay. So the next 2 months I think I had till they flew me out to the combine. I had to train, and I remember I was just training very hard. I was training hard, and I was working. I was back topside LE law enforcement out of Malmstrom, and working my 12, 13-hour shifts again. Which sometimes it brought back a little bit of PTS, but I was able to push through as long as my mind was, as long as I was training and doing what I love to do, and then working and focusing on my troops, I was pretty good. So that's what I did for the next few months before I actually flew down to LA for the Tango Games. And when I was on the show, it was an incredible experience. I was able to kind of showcase the strength that I've had and what I've overcome with leukemia, and I got to showcase it to the world. And I remember after I competed, the messages that I got about how much hope I gave individuals, and inspiration that I had on these individuals, it was pretty incredible. It was a great feeling. Not only that, I was finally able to deploy with my unit, and that's what I did after the Tango Games. I actually went on redeployment orders almost immediately after the Tango Games, and had a few months of training, and then deployed in January of 2019. While I was deployed, boots on the ground, I felt sick. I didn't know what it was. I thought at first, I was like, oh, it's the air quality, it's deployment, it's just my body's trying to cope and get used to it over
When you say you
here.
felt sick, is it like nauseous, or you were sore, or?
Yeah, so when I first landed, it was so weird. I just got sick, like flu-like sick. I'm like, what's going on? Body aches, kind of like the flu-like symptoms, the headaches, the neck aches that I used to feel. I got all of that, and I thought it was just me getting sick, and then I never really got better from it. There was times where I'd feel a little better. I'd go to work, and then I'd try to train, and then the lack of sleep, and then the training again, and the work. It was almost like I was just like I thought my body was just sore, and I felt myself getting more out of shape each week. It was harder to breathe. And a workout I knew I should have done better at, got a better time at. It was slow. I'm like, why? Why am I on my knee? I can't breathe. I don't know. And why is this weight heavy? Over it, when I'm snatches. I'm like, man, my body just hurts. I was deployed for about 4 months, and finally I was like, all right, something's up. I'm like, this isn't right. My gums started getting swollen, which is also a sign of infection into your body. And so I kind of knew deep down. I was like, I think it's back. Shit. Yeah, I was lucky that we had a civilian oncologist who was he was a reservist, and he was able to draw my blood. And after I drew it, he walked in the room all normal and casual, kind of asked the questions. Out of nowhere, he's like, well, your body has 85% leukemic cells. I'm like, oh, you couldn't have started off with that?
How you doing? What'd you do today? Oh, by the way.
Yeah, it was so weird. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, so you need to be out here yesterday. I'm like, okay. I'm like, kind of sitting there, kind of almost like in shock, like, all right, well, all right. Guess I'm getting medevaced out of here. So yeah, the next 2 hours they had me medevaced out. And they flew me to Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland. And I was there getting back into remission, which took about 40 days. Because not only that, but they hadn't hit me with harder chemotherapy this time because my body was used to the old stuff, right? And so they had hit me with different stuff, hard stuff, and that gave me like blood clots. I had a blood clot going in my heart, so we had to get rid of all this shit. And it took like 40 days to get me back into remission. And I had a PICC line put my arm again for all the chemotherapy and whatnot. And towards the end, I remember I was so hard to stay in the hospital that there was a couple times where I left to go and work out with the chemo and everything in my body. But it's like my gateway, you know. It's what I do to just get my mind off everything. And so after I went into remission, I decided that I was going to move to Arizona. I had family in Arizona. My mom lives there, and my grandparents live there. So this was 2019, and the Mayo Clinic is over there. And I remember back in 2014, I actually took a trip to the Mayo Clinic, talked to a few doctors, and they wanted to start me treatment over there. But at the time, I had more family and friends over in Montana, so we decided to do all the treatment over Montana. But this time, I was like, no, I want the best of the best. I want Mayo Clinic and all those doctors. And so went to the Mayo Clinic, started treatment over there immediately, and went through about 2 rounds of chemotherapy. And on my second round, I was training still, you know. I was taking it more easy on me, because I didn't want to, get sick or get an infection, right? And then, of course, that's what happened. I got sick and I got an infection, and this happened to be a fungal sinusitis, so a fungal infection, which kills a lot of people who have an immune system. And I got it, and it was going in my brain, and I didn't know this until it was like July 3rd, because July 4th we had family come in and we were gonna do a 4th of July party or whatever. July 3rd, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she actually was moving from Florida to come be with me, take care of me, and be my caregiver through this whole treatment of my bone marrow transplant and whatnot. So the day that she flew in is the night that she had taken to the ER because I had this fungal infection. It was crazy because, while I was deployed, we were talking and we never met. And then I fly to Walter Reed, and she flies from Florida to meet me at Walter Reed. And, we fell in love. And after I wanted to move to Arizona, she was living in Florida, but she decided to move from Florida to Arizona to come be with me and help take care of me and everything. And she moved to come take care of me. That night, she took me to the hospital, and I went straight to the ER and on life support, and had 5 surgeries in 7 days, and I was back in a coma, not supposed to make it. And she had to see all that. She had to see all me and on life support and tubes coming out of my mouth and crazy stuff, which I hate that she had to see, but she did. She had to see it. About a week and a half later, though, I woke up, and I also have another funny story. I should say it. I should tell y'all. I woke up. I woke up from coma, and we're in ICU, and I remember waking up and seeing her. She was sleeping in the chair. I didn't know what time it was or nothing. I didn't know. I was so doped up on all those drugs. I said, Hensley, I gotta go to the bathroom, and I hadn't walked yet. Because I was in the coma for like 10 days. Like, I can't walk really, so I kind of scooted off to the bed, and she's kind of like, oh God, trying to help me. and she was wearing this white dress. I got off the bed and I couldn't hold it, and I literally just pooped this mud pie right in front of her. Completely missed her white dress, thank God. But oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's a funny story.
Introduction that she got to you within 3 weeks of no.
Yeah.
She's taking Walter Reed.
Crazy. Yeah,
Awesome.
Wow,
I'm
what
so glad you guys got married and it all worked out.
I'm glad. Oh my God.
yeah,
that's
because
the
that was
reason
a
we
crappy date. So I
that
want
was
to
like definitely.
I want to. We've gone through a lot. I've been taking notes. I don't know if you knew that Marines could do that. So I've been making kind of a list of what I call your points of resiliency.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I'm not going to read them all because I probably missed some because
That's
Marine,
okay.
we can't type that fast. But you've had a lot of points of resiliency. Now, besides just going to the gym and obviously going through all of the treatments and everything, what was your mindset strategy? I mean, a lot of people would have at diagnosis just had a complete breakdown and not been able to
Yeah,
function, then
for
the
sure.
infection, then the coma, dropping the weight, training with chemo, relapsing a couple of times, having your girlfriends see things she didn't need to see. She honestly loved you
Exactly.
from the inside out,
And
apparently, that she
she loved
saw.
me. Yeah.
I mean, just so what was your mindset that got you through all of this?
She must have loved me before seeing everything she dealt with. She must love me. Holy smokes. No, in 2014, when I was first diagnosed, I remember I was younger. I was 23, and I remember sitting in the ER or the hospital bed, and I had my brother on my left side and my mom on my right side. And like when the doctor came back in and was like, "Hey, we're 99% sure it's leukemia," my mom started, just losing it. My brother turned pale, and I was like, "Well, guys, I guess I just got to beat it." And so that's my mindset going into it. It's like, just got to beat it. Let's just go. Let's go. I never thought that I was going to lose the battle. I never thought that. Like, I got this. I'm gonna fight every day, and that's what I did. I fought every day, through all the bad days. Just kept fighting. Because there were dark days, of course. I had to remember, what my goals were. Stay positive, and take each day, just one day at a time. Did that first time around. Second time around, it's kind of the same thing. I had been through it. This was a little tougher because the second time around, after the whole incident with Ensley and the dress and everything, me waking up, I had about a month. We had to push back my date, my bone marrow transplant date, actually. And so, her and I, we had a few, pretty emotional nights, just like of the unknown, right? Bone marrow transplant, stem cell transplant, not knowing what's going to happen, how I'm going to react, how the transplant is going to be successful or not. But I just, she was there for me and I was there for her, and we were able to keep each other pretty strong. And she's by my side through the whole transplant. So kind of what happens when you get a transplant is that you go back to the hospital, you start a nasty round of chemotherapy to get your cells down to zero, and then they hit you with a transplant, stem cell transplant. So what that is someone else's DNA kind of coming over and taking over your old DNA, and now you get their DNA pretty much. So my blood went from O negative to now I have A positive blood. It's the craziest thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. So like that's why they look for a bunch of matches, different, like for me, my donor was a 10 out of 10 match, which is perfect, right? Our blood was really different, which kind of made it difficult. In the end, I don't think anyone really knew how difficult it was going to be, because how different our blood was. But after my transplant, everything was successful, right? But the only thing that we had problems with was that my blood wasn't switching over, and so my blood wasn't producing. So my hemoglobin, I had to get transfusions like twice a week for 11 months. So that was really hard because when when someone's like full tank, right, their hemoglobin's at like 14, 15. So like for you, if you went and got your blood work checked, your hemoglobin would be about 14, 14 and a half or so. Mine was at 6, and it would keep dropping unless I got a transfusion. And a transfusion, it would shoot up to maybe 8 if I was lucky, and then it would take a couple days for it to drop down back down like 6 or 5. And when trying to train or trying to even do anything with like that low of blood, it's really hard. Like I was pale white, right, because I have no blood in my body. I still was training and doing what I could. I remember I would sleep most of the day, but I would make sure I left 1 hour in the day to go and train. So I would sleep, rest, make sure I'm trying to, eat what I could, and have energy to now train for at least 1 hour, and then I would rest the rest of the night, whatever. I did that for like 11 months, and it was tough. It was hard on Ensley, of course, right? Because she's my caregiver. She's only supposed to be my caregiver for 100 days. That's what they say. Like, hey, when you have a transplant, we just need you for they need you for like 100 days. Usually that's good, right? But for me, because my blood wasn't reproducing or nothing, I needed a caregiver for I needed her for 2 years. Actually, to be honest, I still need her. It's 4 years. No, but yeah, the day that, so 11 months it took for my blood to start reproducing, and up until that 11 months, we tried a lot. We tried different things, tried like different medications, didn't work. The final therapy that we tried was called plasmapheresis, and that's kind of where they take blood, your plasma out of one arm, spin it through a machine, take all the gunk that you don't need, spit in new plasma through your other arm, and did that for like a month or a month and a half. And after a month and a half, my blood slowly started reproducing. It was crazy. I was like, this is the craziest. This this is crazy. I was like, I don't know how that just happened, but it did, and it rebooted my blood and everything, and my blood started switching. I switched over to A positive, and yeah, I almost instantly started feeling better because now I had 13, 14 hemoglobin level, and my crazy ass, like 3 weeks later, I did a CrossFit competition. I took 4th actually. I was like, wow, that's weird. I know. I don't know. That was crazy.
Well, that kind of,
well, it wasn't
Matt,
fun. I was in a lot of pain.
I do what I don't want to run out of time before we get to some of your big wins in life. So you've had some big wins in life with like the Warrior Games and Invictus. Tell us, can you tell us about those experiences competing and the people you met and how it's kind of affected your life and stuff moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Invictus was actually the first competition I actually had back. And that was already a year ago. So about a year and a half ago was when I kind of heard about it, or like heard that I was on the team. And in my head, I was like, shoot, am I ready? Like it was such an honor to get the call. I was like, man, I got to make sure I'm ready. So it gave me something to train for really, really hard. And that's what I did. I trained immensely hard. And we flew to, also here, fast forward a little bit. I was told we weren't supposed to be able to have kids. And my wife and I both, my wife is actually a breast cancer survivor. And so she went through a lot of stuff. And me, obviously, with everything I went through, the doctor's like, yeah, you probably won't be able to conceive, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we weren't ever thinking that we're going to have kids. And all of a sudden, my wife got pregnant. And so she got pregnant. It was incredible. And that's kind of around the time I heard that I got picked for the Invictus Games team for USA. And I remember Kate was born December 4th. And 4 months later, we actually flew to the Netherlands, and Ensley brought Cade. Cade is 4 months old, and so they were able to experience the Netherlands too, and be able to watch me compete as well. The experience was incredible. I got to meet seriously some of the most amazing people in this world, and you know, them telling me how impactful my story is. It means a lot. Just me being able to fight the way I fought and then help others in this life. It's a pretty crazy feeling, and because a lot of these individual stories, they really impact me. So for them to tell me how impactful my story is, it's incredible. And I met a lot of good friends who are now brothers for life, and I've been truly blessed, 100%. But after the Netherlands, we came back home, and I got ready for the Warrior Games, which was in Orlando, Florida, and that's actually kind of the time around when I moved. Ensley and Cade moved to Florida to be closer to her family, and that was summer of last year, and it was a great experience. Met again a lot of awesome people, and got to kind of share stories and showcase everything we've been through and the fight that we've all endured, and now we're gonna compete next to each other. Pretty amazing stuff.
Well, the medal count. What's the medal count?
I received 7 medals in Invictus, placed in every one of my sports, which was really cool because there's a lot of crazy good athletes, and I give a lot of that to CrossFit, and how I try to make sure I was not weak at. I try to make sure I was strong at every one of the sports, not strong at one, but strong overall at all of them. And it benefited me 100%. I was able to place at every one of my events. 7 medals. Same again at Warrior Games. 7 medals at Warrior Games. And then now it's just staying in touch with everybody, sharing my story when I can, give others hope, and continue what I love to do, competing at a high level, and just taking care of my body, because my cancer could return at any time, and who knows after that what would happen. I don't think about it really. I don't ever fear it coming back. I just live in the moment, time, and do what I love to do, enjoy my family, and be happy every day. That's the biggest goal. So
You seem like a really disciplined guy, and obviously a very inspirational story. What is your cheat meal?
Cheat meal. Ooh, it's I love myself a good pizza. I don't know what it is about pizza.
You're American.
Yeah.
There it is. Give me all that dough and that cheese. And then my cheat dessert is cookie dough ice cream.
Cookie dough.
That's my thing.
On board with
I
that.
love
Let's
it.
do that someday.
Yes. I might need some today. It's kind of hot.
Yeah, you're in Arizona. I'm in Texas. We're feeling it.
Arizona, I just read, is so hot cactus are dying.
What?
So
Yep.
so I'm so glad I moved away from Arizona, and now I'm in Florida. My mom lives in Arizona still, so she is always telling me. I think the last week it was 112.
Oh my God.
Like all week long. Plus it got to like 120 or something. I'm like, nope. I'll deal with it being 90 and 190% humidity here.
I'll take the Gators over the extreme heat.
The Gators, yes. But
No, it's like, it is a great story. And if I want to end on a note, as a terminally single man, I want to encourage a little jousting with you and your wife. I heard this on YouTube. You should refer to the times that she met you in the hospital and how your ex-girlfriend got you through it. because she is your ex-girlfriend, but she's now your wife. So, and then see and introduce her to people that way. This is my ex-girlfriend.
This is
I
my
saw
ex-girlfriend.
I saw somebody pranking their wife online doing that, and she was like, "Would you stop calling me your ex-girlfriend?"
Yo,
Please?
her face. I don't even want to know what it looked like if I said that. It's my ex-girlfriend. She had to stop and think for a second. Oh God. I don't want-
All right. Well, I'm glad we could end on a high note, because you are now. I'm gonna screenshot this. You are now resilience in my world. What's the definition? Doesn't have words. It has a face with a big veteran beard.
with
It's
this
the
thing
veteran look.
going on. I know. But yeah, the retired veteran look. That's me.
So thank you so much for sharing like all of that.
Yes, sir.
I bet you
Yes.
probably didn't expect to share the white dress story today.
Yeah, no, I
but-
didn't. I just hit me. I'm like, I haven't really told this story. Oh, here, I'll tell it to you guys.
All right, it's just us. It's just us. No one's gonna hear
Just
it.
us,
Just us, right?
Yeah, no one's gonna hear it.
So thank you so much, and continue to be even if it's one-on-one, please continue to inspire people to just better their life and to live each day, because each day is super valuable. Like a meteor could come right now and whoa, oh, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And just wipe us all out. So the way you're approaching life is probably the way it should be done. So appreciate
It's been an honor, Jeff.
appreciate
Thank you.
All right, Ashley, do we have any other really 60-minute style like investigative reporting questions asking? I mean, you already did the cheat
Come on,
meal.
Ashley.
I did. Come on. Like how Jeff challenges me at the end. No, I think it's super cool what you're doing. And I really like fitness stuff too. So I love the idea of just going, all right, well, I can either give into it or I can beat it. I'm going to beat it. And then it came back trying to be stronger, pissing you off they had to give you extra chemo just because it came back. Like it went away for a bit, lifted. And then you were like, no, mother effer, I'm still going to take you down. So
Wow, well, you got Ashley to hint at cursing. So that was a very big deal right there. That mother effer. I
love it.
Wow. Well, on that, before we get canceled, Ashley with her mother effer speak, and now she's bad influence on me. I just said it. Unbelievable. Thank you.
Shoot, I think I said a few curse words. I'm sorry. Oops.
Yeah, I saw Holly hit the beep thing. She's got a little. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. We're grown-ups here. As long as we don't get the Apple adult language thing, we're good.
Yeah.
So again, thanks so much, and the best of luck to you and any other competitions that you're going to go to.
Yeah, I appreciate
everybody else is just fighting for second place, my friend. With your 7 medals.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Alphas, guess what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do. First, you're going to take a little break. You're going to relax. You're going to do whatever it is that you do on your break. Don't make it weird. And then we're going to come back and we're going to have a little conversation about Matt and what he had to say with us today. So go on and take your little break, and Matt will see what we have to say about him when he's not here, when he tunes in to the airing of the show. Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you, Alphas. Have a good break.
To look out for those that served, we must be relentless. To influence Washington to do the right thing, not just for our veterans, but for the country, we must be organized. To inspire the next generation of leaders, we must be united. We must be Legion, the American Legion. Join today at legion.org/join.
Welcome back from your break. I hope it was relaxing, and I hope you pontificated on something important to you. All right, Ashley, what did you think of our interview with Mr. Cable?
Loved it. Resiliency, fight back, kick everything's butt, destroy it all.
I have nothing to add to that. That was exactly what I was going to say. Okay. And now This is for you, Matt. This is a special edition. They're all special to me. This is an edition of my favorite part of the show, the rapid fire. All right, rapid fire number 1. Ship military care packages to help be the one. This is from the most esteemed news source I could find on the internet, legion.org. All right. American Legion members Rob and Michelle Williamson simplified the process of shipping for individuals and businesses in 2017 when they founded Ship Thrifty, allowing shippers a cost-saving and hassle-free way to create, purchase, and print their own shipping labels online with major carriers. A year later, they provided those same Ship Thrifty benefits with military families to make shipping care packages to service members overseas and stateside easy. Since then, hundreds of thousands of care packages have been delivered to America's military men and women to boost morale and bring those away from home a piece of home, Michelle said. Their mission is to support service members, veterans, and families, falls in line with the American Legion's mission. Together, they have formed a partnership to continue caring for service members through the shipping of care packages and the Legion Be the One Suicide Prevention Initiative. I'm going to need Holly to weigh in on this. She probably won't come in on camera, but this is Legion.org, and they used the P word, partnership. So this must be a very special relationship.
Actual vetted partnership with Ship Thrifty.
Yep. This must be very special because we were told not to use that word. We have a relationship. We collaborate on things, but this is an actual partnership with Shop Thrifty. So have you any thoughts there?
I've never shipped thriftied, but here it comes. Get ready.
I mean, that's got my name on it, by the way. It's Thrifty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know. I love I love how, and I'm not gonna lie. When Be the One first started, I was like, it's a logo. What else is it? And like most things, you have to start, right? And then you have to grow. And there's VA SAVE training people are doing in pursuit of Be the One. They're doing it in training at their department level conventions I've been reading about. We have this thing where they're shipping care packages because military suicide is bad as well. It's not just after you get your DD-214, it's prior to that as well. So I love this. I love it. Okay. All right. I guess we're gonna move on. I'm the only one that loves it.
I love it. I'm going to use it.
It's just like me when I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm the only one who loves me. All right, here we go. Rapid fire number 2. Ex-official who revealed UFO project accuses Pentagon of disinformation campaign. This is from Politico. We are actually quoting Politico. We're coming up in this world. The former Pentagon official who went public about reports of UFOs has filed a complaint with the agency's inspector general, claiming a coordinated campaign to discredit him for speaking out, including accusing a top official of threatening to tell people he was crazy, according to documents reviewed by Politico. Lou Elizondo, a career counterintelligence specialist who was assigned in 2008 to work for a Pentagon program that investigated reports of unmanned aerial phenomenon, UAPs. The UAPs are the new UFO, in case you didn't know that. Filed the 64-page complaint to the independent watchdog on May 3rd and has met several times with investigators, according to his legal claim. The claim that the government is trying to discredit him comes weeks before Director of National Intelligence and the Pentagon are expected to deliver an unclassified report to Congress about UFOs or UAPs and the government's strategy for investigating such encounters. What do you think? This has been like a story.
Yeah, it's been a story, but it's also been like I see like little bits and snippets of it. Not like, oh my God, what is happening? You know what I mean?
It's been like 2 stories. It's been like, ooh, the Pentagon knows about UFOs. That's one story. And then the second story is kind of more in line with this, is we need to hail whistleblowers as heroes. Like this has become a whistleblower case, but because they're calling them crazy.
Well, yeah, of course we are, because they're saying that aliens exist.
And
Like,
if they do exist, he's working for them and assuming has a security clearance and probably shouldn't be talking about it.
right, there's a whole lot going on. But we have, like, as a society, when people say aliens exist, we've always been like, all right, Fruit Loop. Like when I worked at Radio Shack, people used to come in and they would ask me to fix their stuff to help them talk to the aliens. And you'd be like, all right, well, this is just a touch light, but here you go.
And if you're working at Radio Shack, you probably sold them new batteries. It's probably the
Oh.
batteries. Yeah, you got to put new
batteries, and then for some reason, take all of their information. Oh, you're buying batteries? What's your name, address, and social? I don't know why they did that. It was for everybody. So like here, this is what bothers me about society. This is a societal problem in general. We take one thing that for the longest time, we're just like, no, this is not a thing. And anybody who says it's crazy. And then one day we're like, oh no, we were all crazy for not thinking it. Let's go the opposite. I can't. We need to pick a thing and stick with it. Even if aliens
No
are
matter
here, we
what.
just ignore them. We do
Yep.
this and we keep saying that they don't exist, and then they'll go away.
New information equals misinformation.
Yes.
It's just and move on. All right, like we're gonna move on to rapid fire number. Wait, pew, pew, pew. Yeah, I did 3. Rapid fire number 3. All right, I wish CV was here because he would. I totally want his take on this one. Stolen valor among small businesses lying about being veteran-owned, targeted by Iowa senator. This is military.com. A Republican-sponsored provision tucked into the Senate's version of the annual defense policy bill seeks to crack down on stolen valor by targeting businesses that lie about being veteran-owned. Small businesses that only certify as being service disabled and veteran-owned could not count towards the government's goal of having 3% of contracting dollars going to such businesses, under the provision by Senator Joni Ernst, Republican, Iowa, in the Senate's National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA. While the bill would not eliminate self-certification or prevent contracts from being awarded to self-certified businesses altogether, the aim is to incentivize federal officials to award contracts to formally certified businesses and thereby disincentivize stolen valor. As the first female combat veteran to serve in the Senate, I know that our service members have the grit, talent, and leadership abilities needed to become successful small business owners following their time in uniform. Ernst, who championed the provision as the ranking member of the Senate Small Business Committee and member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, said in a statement to military.com, who this article is brought to you by.
Dun,
Stolen
dun, dun.
valor, so many levels.
I get accused of stolen valor all the time.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you start a small business and lie
No.
about it being
No,
veteran?
I think it's just people just don't know what it is. They're just like, oh, you have short hair on the side. Stolen valor. Like, what? It's just online. I know people that have started businesses and have been kicked out of the military and use veteran-owned business on their website.
You mean like getting a dishonorable?
Yeah. Anybody can make a website. Just type it.
And
So
why stop where they stopped? Why have self-certification? That's like those loans in the early 2000s where people could just, oh yeah, make $1 million and sign
but
it.
here's the thing too. Like, okay, if they take away the self-certification or they whatever that is it going to be another long process that's a pain in the butt that they make people pay money for? Is this just a money grab for the state? Or is this going to be like a real vetting process that isn't like it's a balance? It's got to be not a pain in the butt and also not super expensive.
Well, well, first of all, it already is. The process is already there. It is what it is. And I'm sure it's complicated, but you should just be able to turn in your DD-214. They can verify. You can do ID me in like 30 seconds and verify that your status. But the thing, to their benefit, to their credit, self-certified can still do business. They just won't count towards the government's goal of 3%, which is kind of small in my brain. If having 3% of businesses be veteran-owned, that I don't know. So they can still self-certify without paying and still do business. The government just can't count them towards that goal.
This makes me think something's going on in Iowa. Because like, why, if it's only 3%, like what happened? Like, did this senator go into an ice cream shop and they were like, what? This says it's a veteran-owned business and they don't have mint chocolate chip. They should have mint chocolate chip. like what happened? Like, why is this such a focus? I'm not saying it's a wrong focus, but it's
well, I think she's just being the first female combat veteran in the Senate and just taking up passionately strong veteran issues.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe she wanted that ice cream.
Because she said right there, I'm grateful that my effort to prevent stolen valor and enhance integrity and federal contracting for service disabled veteran-owned small businesses passed through the Senate NDAA with bipartisan support.
Well, yeah. Who's going to be like, no, I want people to lie.
There's always one.
There is always.
It's Bob in the back who wanted to start a veteran-owned business but never served.
What? I can't do it anymore. What do you mean?
No, I vote no. Filibuster. Okay. You have any shout outs for my good people?
No, not this
No?
week.
All right. I was trying to think of it. I was doing this, putting these notes together really late at night. And I was trying to think of, a really great shout out. I'm going to shout out the Detroit Lions. That's weird, right? Because they are going to be playing a American football game while we are in Charlotte. And I'm going with some good friends, and we're going to watch preseason football, which means we're going to watch one half until they let all the people who are never going to make the team play in the second half. So shout out to you, Lions. You better win, because I never get to see you play. All right. Miss Ashley Gutermuth, part of the AAA podcast team that doesn't include me, unless I change my name.
It's Ja. Ja.
Ja.
Everybody, if you can, just don't forget to subscribe to the Tango Alpha Lima podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you consume podcasts. Please leave us a review. And if you could give us a big old 5-star rating, I would appreciate it. Jeff would appreciate it. Holly would appreciate it. And the thing is, if you don't, every time that you order a steak from now until you die, and if there's steaks in heaven, and this will also apply there too. I do have jurisdiction over heaven. I don't know if you know that. All of your steaks will be cooked slightly wrong, not wrong enough for you to send them back, but just wrong enough for you to get annoyed. So if you like it well done, it's going to be like not like a little bit more than medium, but just enough for you to be like, oh God, it's going to take forever to make them a new. I'm just going to eat this one. I'm just going to suck it up. Then you're going to get the bill. It's going to be $40 and you're going to be so mad even then. And that will be for the rest of your life. So just enjoy that if that's what you're into. If you do have any guest recommendations, go to legion.org/Tango Alpha Lima, click on the suggested guest link, and we would love to talk to whoever you want us to talk to.
Oh, almost anyone. Like crazy people.
No, we
like
want
people who would put ketchup on a steak, by the way.
gross.
I don't know why those people exist.
Send them to hell.
And they're putting it on there because they get that daggum well done.
Mhm.
I want, and super producer Holly, before we leave, I have a honey-do list. Honey, what's that stuff that they put on steaks there, or the shrimp cocktail, and then the horseradish, and then also the Hotel Tango cherry liqueur. Love that stuff. Yes. All right, and just let me Venmo you. I'll get your Venmo in my hi hello profile of you. What did I just do an ad again? Anyway, Alphas, thanks so much for joining us today. It was a great show. We hope to see you at convention, not in convention, at convention coming up at the end of the month, towards the end of the month. The end of the month. It is the end of the month. And with that, I'm going to hope that I see you there. And I'm going to declare season 4, episode 171, mission complete.